This section of the training program will cover mental workload and how it relates to NASA-TLX. What is mental workload? Mental workload can be defined as many things, but most of us in human factors research can agree that it represents some form of work requiring mental processes from the individual which may or may not meet the required level imposed by the task. Generally speaking, for a given task, mental workload is influenced by the task demands, external support, past experience, and level of attention. Task demands can include things like the complexity of the task or the time pressures associated with the task. External support includes things like assistance from peers and associates or through technological aids like a computer. Past experience has the effect of practice and skill with the possibility to reduce mental workload. And level of attention dictates the amount of attentional resources given by the individual for a task or components of the task. So why is mental workload important, and what's its value? When the cognitive demands of a task exceed an individual's attentional capacity or mental capabilities, there are influences on other task dimensions, such as physical task components, emotional state, or awareness level, the safety of both the individual and surroundings, as well as the potential for emergencies or catastrophic events, and finally, the overall task performance itself. Here is a model of mental workload and its various influences and the components it affects. Pay particular attention to this model as it will be discussed further in the training program. The context for mental workload and human factors research. The mental workload of a task is an important factor in determining the overall workload. Just like physiological measures can provide readings for stress, anxiety, and arousal, mental workload is able to provide insights into an individual's intellectual capacity, information processing capability, and critical thinking. As previously said, it is partnered with additional factors such as the physical task demands or operations and the emotional state of the individual, and so it has both direct and indirect effects on the task performance. Although mental workload serves as an important measure between the task demands and an individual's responses for the task, it is difficult to quantify directly. Please take a few moments to answer the following questions and review the basics of mental workload and its context in human factors research. Here is the mental workload model again. If it helps, you may replicate it and use it to answer the questions. Here are the answers to the questions. Number 1. Mental workload can be defined as a combination of the cognitive requirements of a task versus the attentional capacity and mental capabilities of the individual. Number 2. Mental workload is affected by task demands, external support, past experience, and attentional resources. Number 3. Mental workload affects other dimensions of task performance, safety, and task performance itself. This marks the end of the mental workload section of the training program. When you are ready, please continue with the remainder of the program.